implementation of Google Analytics 4. So we had already seen what Google Analytics 4 is. It is basically a platform that gathers data from multiple data streams, for example web, iOS or application. Alright, we had already seen the uses of GA4. Now we'll see how to implement it. And the best way to use any of these tools is through a tag manager. So we'll use Google Tag Manager for this. Firstly, we'll go to Google Analytics, the website of Google Analytics, and create a new account. As you can see, I've already created an account before, but for new users you can just create a new account. And generally people type the name of the company here under account name. Okay, but I'm just typing test2. And you also need to note that any new accounts you create will be created under the ID you're browsing in. So if you want to create a new account under a different ID, you need to change your ID first. So we'll put in the name test2. We'll click next. Then this is a property. Now this property can be used to define what kind of an data stream it is. You can put in test2 web or test2 app or anything like that. Now time zone is an important setting, and you need to set it according to the time zone of the company. Since I am based in India, I'll select India for now, and currency INR. Also note that you can't change the time zone afterwards, so be sure to select the correct one. If you select show advanced options, you can see that it is not advised to create universal analytics because it will stop collecting data from 1st July 2023. So we won't take this, and we'll just click next. Now this is some business information that it asks you. You can select any category, but this is all optional, so it's up to you if you select it or not. Create. Even here you'll change the country. It's India. You'll read through this and accept. Click I accept. So once you've done this, you can see an account has been created, and it asks you to put a data stream. Now for me, I have a website, so I'll select web. As you can see, it asks detail about your website. Now I'll just quickly go to the website, and I'll just select the URL, come back here, paste it here, and just remember to remove this tag and just keep the subdomain here. Again, stream name, you can put it as test2 web stream, right? And these are the new features that Google Analytics 4 offers you. Previously, as you can remember, we only used to have page views, but now along with page views we have scrolls, we have outbound clicks. Suppose you have a link on your website which leads to another site. We have site search, anything you search on the site. We have video engagement if a user is watching a video that's embedded on the site, and there's file downloads. Alright, so you can tick and untick these settings according to your preference. We'll select save, and we'll create the stream. Now as you can see, our web stream has been created, and we have been provided the details of it. Now this measurement ID is an important thing since we are going to have to use it later on as well. But then again, you can see that these are the settings, Google tag settings, and if you go to view tag instructions, yep, it will ask you if your site is made with a website builder, and this is if you have to install it manually. But again, there's also the option of using Google Tag Manager, which we will be using this time. Okay. You just click on learn more. It will take you to a support page where you can see how to implement it through Google Tag Manager. So our data stream is ready. Now we'll just go to Google Tag Manager, As you can see, this is the Google Tag Manager page, and again I had already created an account before, but I'll create one now as well. So create account, and I'll put in test2, but it is recommended to put the name of the company, so it is easier to identify it later. India container setup. Here I'll put the URL, and since it is a website, I'll select the target platform as web. I'll click create. It will give me the terms and conditions. Accept. Yes. Now, as you can see, an account has been created and Google Tag Manager has given us some codes. Now it says to paste this code as high in the head of the page as possible. So what you have to do is you have to copy this code and then go to the source code of your website and locate the head tag and paste it just below the head tag. Right, now we have to paste it at the top so that this code is configured first and then the rest of the page is loaded. Right, and additionally you can even paste this code in the body tag, but since most of the sites use JavaScript, this only this code will be required. This code you can skip. Right, we'll press OK. We'll save this, and since we have made changes to our source code, we'll have to deploy the site again. So I'll just deploy the site again now. Alright, so our site has been deployed. I'll just hit refresh here, and we can head back to our Google Tag Manager. And now we are going to be implementing Google Analytics 4 using Google Tag Manager. So we'll just head on to the tag section. As you can see, this container has no tags right now, so we'll create one new tag configuration and we'll select this one, GA4 configuration. Now this is just a universal tag for page view. Okay, we'll select this, and measurement ID we'll get from the Google Analytics site. We had created our web stream and it gave us a measurement ID. We'll copy this one and we'll paste it here. Okay, once this is done, we'll just set a page view trigger for this one, all pages page view. Done this and save. You can name it however you want. I'll just leave it like that and save. As you can see, our tag has been added, and to check if it's working or not, we'll do a preview. This will open your site in a new tab. We'll have to first put the website's URL here. Make sure it starts with HTTPS. Connect. This pop-up says that the Google Tag Manager is successfully connected. We'll click finish, continue, and we'll get the summary. We can see that tags fired was the Google Analytics GA4 configuration. We had set it on page view, and since we landed on the page, it has successfully fired. You can see that this condition was satisfied and hence it fired this tag. Now similarly, I'll even put a Google Analytics 4 event tag. Right, I'll again create a new one, tag configuration GA4 event. We'll manually set the ID. We already have the measurement ID. We'll again copy the same one and paste it here. Event name yes, event. Now triggering. So for this we'll have to create a trigger. You can create it from here or you can go back and create it from the trigger section. we want this to set on click. So we'll all elements. As you can see, this trigger fires on all clicks. So any button or anything that is clicked on our website, this trigger will then fire the tag. Save this as and click GA4. So coming back to our GA4 event tag, you can see that this trigger has been added, and if the conditions meet, this will successfully fire this tag. Okay, save again. You can name it whatever you want. I'll keep it like that and save. So again, we'll go to preview to test it. The same URL, we'll click connect, and it will again open your site in a new tab. And since we have put a click trigger, we'll just click a few buttons here, okay, and finish this. So as you can see, our previous tag, which is still there, and it was set on the trigger of page view. Since we landed on the page only once, that was fired one time. But as you might remember, we clicked 4 buttons, and hence the event tag was fired 4 times. Okay. And in the container loaded, you can see that only the page view tag has been fired, whereas in the clicks one, you can see that the event tag has been fired, and the GA4 configuration, which was set to page view, it has not fired. So you can now close this and return to your Google Manager. Now let's just see the new feature of Google Analytics 4. So let's go to preview again. Right, again the same process, connect, and it will open your website in a new tab. Tag assistant connected, and now we want the event tag to fire, so we'll click it about 3 times, finish, and as you can see, again we get accurate results. Summary, we open the page once, so it fired 1 time, and this, since we clicked 3 buttons, this fired 3 times. So now if you go to Google Analytics and go to configure and debug view, so basically here you will be able to see the real timeline of what has happened on your site. Since we went and clicked it thrice, you can see first it loaded the page view, and then we clicked on 3 buttons. So even this fetched here automatically, right? And now we can go to home. And now for the most important part, we'll go back to Google Tag Manager, and we have verified that it is successfully connected and everything is working. We have even tested it. So now we'll just publish it. Okay, give it a version name, test v2, and just publish. So now we have made the site live, and now the Google Tag Manager will work for every user that comes on the site, and we'll be able to get real-time data on our Google Analytics. So for example, if I open a new incognito window and I put the URL and I go to the page, I'll just browse for a bit. Okay. I'll click a few buttons, and then I'll close the tab. Now if I head over to my Google Analytics tab, hit refresh, you can see that the user count has gone from 1 to 2. And to get more detailed reports, I'll go to the report section, click on the real time, As you can see, we can see the user count, we can see the platform that they used it on, desktop, and if I use it on mobile it would be desktop and mobile, and the percentage of how much was viewed on which platform, and then the location from where it was viewed and other details. So this was basically how to implement Google Analytics 4 using Google Tag Manager.